Okay, so in this video I'll be going to discuss about HTML colors. So in HTML, a color can be specified by using a color name. As I have already discussed in the previous video that you can define the different colors for the specific elements in your HTML document by using the background property. You can set the background color for HTML elements, or by using the text color you can set the color of the text according to your choice, and by using border color. So these are all the different properties of CSS which we will be including in the style attribute, and we have discussed all these things in the previous video. So in HTML there is another way you can specify the colors using predefined color names, which are RGB, RGBA or hexadecimal values. So in this video I'll be going to discuss about RGB values, and in the upcoming videos I'll be just explaining you about hexadecimal values and RGB values. So in HTML, a color can be specified as an RGB value using the given formula, where RGB stands for red, green and blue, and you can just mention the different parameters which defines the intensity of the color. Note that when I say the intensity of the color, it means the brightness of the color. For example, if I say that the color is at its full intensity, which means there is no mixture of black and white in it, the color is pure in its form. And when I just mention different parameters of red, green and blue, so the different parameters just gives me an idea that the color is not a pure shade, it is a mixture of some colors. So note that the range of red, green and blue is from 0 and 255. You have to just define the range or the intensity of the color between and below these two values. For example, RGB 255, 0, 0 is displayed as red because red is set to its highest value and the others are set to 0. Already discussed above that RGB stands for red, green and blue, and we have mentioned this intensity of the color, that is for red is highest, that is at 255, so others are set to 0, so normally you will get the result as a red color. So similarly, to make the color black, you just have to define all the parameters to 0, they must be set to 0, and for white you just have to set all the color range of the colors to 255. As you know that white light is obtained by setting the intensity of red, green and blue to its highest value. So let me show you this on Sublime. Okay, so this is the previous document which I have created in the previous video. I have just mentioned the style attribute with color is red. You can just note down all these things. And in the next line, I have again used the style attribute, and the color which I have used is RGB, where RGB stands for red, green and blue. So red is defined as 0, green is set to its highest intensity, and again blue is defined to 0. So the resultant color will be green. Okay, so here I can just remove this, write color. So these things are already predefined in Sublime. You just have to write RGB, and you can mention the different parameters you want. Write 120, 240, 112. Okay, sorry. Okay, just save this. Okay, you can see that in my output file, the color of the heading is changed to red simply by specifying the color property, and in the next two lines I have used the RGB values, that is for red, green and blue, and the resultant color was green in the second line, and in the third line I have mentioned the different parameters from red, green and blue which define the different intensities of red, green and blue, and the resultant color just be like very light shade of green. Okay, so that's all for now, and I'll see you in the next video.